One morning, Percy the small engine was idling in a siding. He looked very concerned. Rosie, who was puffing along, saw Percy and wondered what the matter was.
Percy, are you okay? You look a little concerned.
Oh, hey, Rosie. Yes, I am concerned.
Why? What's wrong?
Take a look up ahead.
Rosie looked ahead. She could see Donald and Douglas, with a blue diesel she hadn't seen before.
Who's that diesel?
His name's Sidney. He means well, but he unfortunately suffers short-term memory loss. Just watch.
For the last time, Sidney, I am Douglas.
Okay, nice to meet you, Douglas. And you are?
I already told ya, my name is Donald.
Hello, Donald. I'm Sidney.
We know. You just told us your name.
Wait, where am I? Oh, hello there. Who are you two? Can you tell me how I got here?
Goodness sake. Come on, doggy. Let's go. I'd be glad to, Donald.
And with that, the Scottish winds puffed away from the confused diesel. Rosie was shocked.
That's not the right way to talk to an engine.
I know. I feel sorry for Sidney. Because of his condition, no one wants to be his friend.
That's terrible.
Rosie felt sorry for Sidney as she watched him oil away. Then she had an idea.
You know what? I think all Sidney needs is support.
What do you mean, Rosie?
But Rosie was already puffing away to find Sidney.
Come on, Percy. We need to collect the mail train.
Oh, all right.
Rosie arrived at Mayway Station to find Sidney with Gordon. Gordon wasn't having much luck with Sidney either.
Sidney, just leave me alone.
Why? What did I do?
Why should I tell you? You're just going to forget what I'm telling you.
Forget what? Wait, where am I? Oh, hello there. I'm Sidney. Who are you?
That's it! I'm not talking to you anymore!
What's your problem? I'm just trying to be friendly.
But Gordon puffed away crossly. Rosie was speechless. Suddenly, she began to worry. Just then, Edward puffed up.
Hello, Rosie. Something wrong?
Well, I was thinking about helping Sidney, but I'm worried I might lose my temper and get really mad at him. But Sidney needs friends to support him.
I see. I can understand you are concerned about Sidney, but you wouldn't be able to do it alone. I'd best come along and help too.
Really? Thanks, Edward.
No problem.
So Edward and Rosie puffed over to Sidney and hoped for the better.
Hello there. I'm Sidney.
Hello, Sidney. I'm Edward.
And I'm Rosie. We're here to try and help you make some friends.
Really? That's great. I've been trying to make friends, but for some reason they all yell at me and leave me.
Don't worry, Sidney. I'm sure we'll find some friends for you. We'll go to the docks first.
Okay then. Where am I and how did I get here?
Oh boy. This is gonna be really tough.
Soon enough, Rosie, Edward and Sidney arrived at Brandon Docks. Rosie looked around. Only Henry was there.
Okay, Sidney. Here's your first engine. Good luck.
Okay, I'll try.
Sidney rolled over to Henry. Henry didn't seem too pleased to see Sidney.
Hello, I'm Sidney.
I know who you are, and to refresh your memory, my name is Henry.
Would you like to be my friend? I haven't any friends to talk to.
I'm not surprised, seeing that you forget very easily.
Hey, how did I get here? Oh, hello there. I'm Sidney. Who are you?
Why don't you go to the diesel works to get yourself looked at?
Rosie and Edward couldn't believe what they just heard. Before Henry puffed away, Edward rolled over and spoke sternly to Henry.
Henry, how can you say that to an engine with short-term memory loss? He's only trying to be your friend.
Well, I'm sorry. It's hard to speak to someone who can't remember anything I say.
With that, Henry steamed out of Brandon Docks. Rosie was once again shocked.
That isn't like Henry. What's happened to the kind and understanding Henry?
I don't know. The only time Henry acted like that was when he, James, and Gordon were on strike years ago.
They were on strike?
I'll tell you about it later. Come on, Sidney. We'll try Tidmouth Sheds. I'm sure there's someone there that would like to be your friend.
Sure hope they do. Ed, is it?
No, it's Edward. You'll get the hang of it, Sidney.
The engines soon arrived at the sheds. They looked around. Only James was there.
Okay, Sidney. I'm sure you'll do well this time.
Sidney wasn't sure now. He could still remember the way Henry spoke to him.
Well, if you say so, Edward.
Sidney rolled over to James. James wasn't happy to see Sidney.
Can I help you, Sidney?
How did you know my name?
Because you've told me already.
I did? Oh! And you are?
I've already told you before. It is James!
Oh! Well, would you be my...
And the answer is no! I can't talk to someone who can't remember anything after 5 seconds!
James huffed out of the sheds and away from Sidney. Now, Rosie was cross.
I'm starting to get so mad at the others now. If I had hands, I would.
Whoa, Rosie, calm down. Take a deep breath and just let it go.
Sorry, Edward. I'm just upset that no one wants to be Sidney's friend.
I understand how you feel, Rosie, but it's not worth getting worked up about it.
I guess we could try the steamworks next.
Good idea, Rosie. Alright, Sidney. Let's go.
Alright, Eddie. I'm coming.
Later, the 3 engines arrived at the steamworks. But when they looked around, there were no engines. Even Victor and Kevin weren't there.
Oh, bother.
That's odd. It's not like Victor and Kevin to not be here.
Just then, they heard a horn. It was Diesel. He had heard everything about Rosie trying to help Sidney. I hear you've been trying to get that sorry excuse for a Diesel to make some friends.
What's it to you, Diesel?
You two are just wasting your steam. No one wants to be friends with that engine. Sorry, Sidney, but you'll never make any friends. Not even any Diesel friends.
That's not true, Diesel.
Sidney has us for friends.
2 engines isn't enough. Face it, Sidney won't have any friends. And Diesel oiled out of the steamworks. Edward and Rosie were really cross with Diesel, but Sidney was upset.
Don't worry about Diesel, Sidney. I'm sure we will find engines who want to be friends with you. I know I will.
No, Edward. Diesel is right. Why would anyone want to be friends with a stupid Diesel like me? I mean, look at me. I'm always forgetting the engine's names, and I always forget where I am. Why do you think the engines just puff away from me? No one likes me.
Rosie and Edward just stared.
Sidney, did you?
He's just said something of the things that happened before.
Well, bust my buffers. Sidney, you've remembered part of your day. Do you know what that means?
No. Why?
If you could remember all that, then you'll be able to remember the engine's names in no time. Then you'll have friends in no time, no doubt about it.
Sidney thought about this. Then he smiled.
Okay, Rosie, I'll give it one more try.
That's the spirit, Sidney.
Just then, Thomas arrived. He was surprised to see the engines.
Hello. Why are you here? Victor and Kevin won't be back until tomorrow.
Oh, it's a long story, so we'll cut it short.
We were helping Sidney make friends, but we haven't had much luck so far.
So we'll try once more to get Sidney some friends.
Bust my buffers! That sounds exciting. May I tag along and help?
Sure thing, Thomas. Well, Sidney, looks like Thomas is now your friend.
Sidney just smiled. First, the engines went back to make weight. This time, Oliver and Hiro were there. Even towed the brake van.
Hello, Edward, Thomas and Rosie.
Who's your friend?
This is Sidney. Sidney, this is Hiro, Oliver and his brake van towed.
We're helping Sidney to make new friends.
Not many engines don't talk to Sidney because of his short-term memory loss. But he is a nice engine, really.
Oh dear, the poor engine.
But his memory is getting better. So we're hoping that some of the other engines can talk to him better.
And support him.
Well, we'd be glad to be friends with Sidney.
Of course, Mr. Hiro. Engines should stick together no matter what's the personality.
Well said, Toad.
Well, it's nice to meet you all. I'll try my best to keep your name in my head.
Alright, next stop, Brendam Docks.
And the cavalcade set off. Hiro and Oliver whistled goodbye. Wherever the engines went, they were able to get Sidney lots of friends. Sidney was really happy. Then, when they got back to Tibbin Sheds, there was the Vat Controller. So was Henry, James, Gordon and the Scottish twins.
Ah, Sidney. Just in time. These engines have something to say to you.
We're sorry for the way we treated you.
Okay, we feel terrible.
Me mostly. At the time I was a bit of a bad mood because of the trucks, and I let my anger out on you when I shouldn't have.
We hope you can forgive us.
So, what do you say, Sidney? Friends?
Sidney smiled.
Of course we can be friends.
The engines whistled. Then Diesel oiled up.
Diesel, you are to take rubbish to the waste dump as for your punishment because of the way you spoke to Sidney.
Oh no, not the rubbish wagons.
Oh yes, the rubbish wagons.
And all the engines laughed, except Diesel. Well, Sidney was able to make friends. He still has short-term memory loss, but it doesn't affect him as much now. So now he's a really useful engine. Well, that's the end of the story. See you next time. Goodbye.